is week something. I don't know. I don't keep track of weeks anymore. I live in North Carolina. We're still under a stay-at-home order. I am a radio DJ because I keep getting a lot of people who are like, oh, are you a chef? Absolutely not. I am a radio DJ broadcasting from home during the quarantine. Gave me time to make new recipes, which is good because I love food and I love cooking and I love trying new stuff. I love my kitchen, so it's fun. And I have a 9-year-old little boy who hates everything I make, which makes it even more exciting. Tonight, I am recreating a recipe that popped up on my Twitter feed the other day. And I was like, ooh, that looks good, but I feel like I saw somebody do this and it looked tastier. And I did my research. It was the Kitchenista. Follow her. Shout out to her. She's amazing. So I'm going to try to recreate her lamb hand pies. Fingers crossed. Don't look at my nails. They're terrible. I've got 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour and a teaspoon of kosher salt. And then that's it. So I've got 1/2 pound of European style extra creamy butter. I'm gonna cut it up into pats and add it to the flour. Add in the 2 sticks of unsalted butter. And then we're gonna pulse it all together until it all comes together and kind of looks like breadcrumbs. So the flour and butter should look kind of, crumbly. I say this like I've done this before. I'm just talking like I know what's going on. Now I've combined 1/2 cup of ice water and 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, and I'm gonna drizzle it in while I pulse all of this together. I mixed the dough together, took it out, put some flour on the board, formed it into a ball, and now I'm gonna let it rest in the refrigerator for like an hour, covered up in a bowl. So now it's time for the fun part of the lamb pies, the filling. So I just browned 1 pound of ground lamb, and I'm going to add to that diced red bell pepper, and I have no assistance like Rachel Ray, so I gotta grab it all myself. A diced red onion, and then we stir all of that together. All right, I'm already a bad recipe follower because she said grate the garlic, and I didn't do that. So 3 cloves of garlic. You should definitely grate it though when you do this recipe. And you should grate 2 inches of ginger. Yeah, I just guessed. So I'm sure it'll be delicious. Next, I'm adding in my Scotch bonnet pepper, which I did follow directions with this. The Kitchenista said to use gloves when cutting it up because it's super spicy and I don't need no problems. So I did use gloves. Luckily, we're in a pandemic and I have plenty of gloves around. So I'm going to stir that in. And in this bowl, I've got paprika. I'm supposed to have white pepper, but I was out of it. So I've got black pepper. I've got poultry seasoning, cumin, and ground cloves. And I'm going to add all of that to the pan with the tomato sauce. I added a little oil to the pan, a tablespoon of tomato sauce, and all of my spices together, and I'm gonna mix all that together. Just kind of let it cook. After the tomato paste and the spices all cooked together, I stirred them into the lamb and the other veggies and added a cup of water. And now I'm adding the 2 Yukon Gold potatoes that I diced up. First for me, because the pandemic has caused me to become a plant lady, I now have cilantro that I'm growing that I can add to my dish. After it's cooked enough for the potatoes to start to become a little bit soft, but not all the way, I added about 2 tablespoons of flour. We're going to mix this all together to thicken up the liquid that was still in the pan. So after the flour cooked for a little bit, I added a cup of water, 2 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar, and 2 tablespoons of what my stepfather used to call, what's this here sauce? Worcestershire, yeah. This is my favorite part of the whole recipe. The cilantro that I chopped up and added because I grew it myself. This is super exciting. You don't understand, I've never been able to keep plants alive, so apparently it took the world coming to a halt for me to be able to make a plant live. Wow. So I stir the cilantro in, and then I want to bring it up to a gentle boil and let it cook for a minute. I took the lamb filling off of the heat. The Kitchenista says you should be able to drag your spoon across the pan without all of the filling immediately springing back into place. So I guess it's thick enough. You don't want it to be too watery because you don't want your hand pies to be soggy. So now I'm going to put this in the refrigerator and let it chill completely. I took the dough out of the refrigerator, divided it up into parts, and rolled one part out, cut it with a little circle, used a bowl as my template. I'm gonna add some filling to it, and then I'm gonna seal it and put it in the fridge so that it stays cold. The goal is to keep everything as cold as possible because we wanna keep the butter cold that's inside the dough. Let's take a second to appreciate my progress. These are the last pies that I did when I filled them, and this is the first one I did right here. Look at that. Look at that! Last, first. That is a mess. Okay, so now we're going to brush them all with an egg wash and put them in the oven. I brushed all of the pies with an egg wash, and now they're going into the oven for 20 minutes. So the biggest problem I have identified with these lamb hand pies is that I don't think I'll be able to stop eating them. The crust is super flaky, and the filling is delicious.